I do want to begin here because we always begin here. Overall thoughts of episodes 1 and 2. I believe the episode title for one was Providence, and the second one was S.W.A.K, sealed with a kiss. Their code word. What did you think overall?
I was like, all right, I know. I told you this is Brave. We're here with Merida, and she's gonna go and show the folks what she's made of. Don't nobody puts in the corner type energy. I'm gonna go and rebel, and I'm gonna become a warrior. I was like, oh, this is not what that is. This is not what that is. This is very romantic. I was like, what are we doing? This is extremely romantic. I was very surprised. The way that I was expecting blatant violence. I was expecting Braveheart. Like, I was like, oh, we're about to, go freedom. We're about to go. And we're all in Scotland. Oh, we're about to go to hell and back. No, it's very romantic and sensual and longing and gazing and forbidden. I was like, what is this? I don't know what's happening on the OG Outlander, but here it's I thought they tried to go like in a completely different direction, and maybe this was more a romantic vibe in there, because just based off of like the stills, and I was like, oh, this looks okay. Ooh. I thought I was expecting gore. No, and like blatant violence. This is very soft, very if I should say so, like even in tone to where it could cater to both genders, in my opinion, because just looking at this, I would not assume like this is not for the women's. This is nothing of the sort. This is just, for the men. And I was like, oh, we still have enough there, enough of the brute forceness and the testosterone, if you will, to cater to that audience. But for the sector of women who do like something with more nuance, something to ship, something to hope for. I can't wait till X, Y, and Z gets back to where, because, the love and the passion they share. This is the show for you, and I did not expect that. With that being said, I was not mad at it. I think the characters are well-rounded. I think they're well-written. I think that the world seems lived in. The costuming was great. I was very intrigued. I was.
That's what we were saying in the Discord. We were like, oh, they had money. But yes, because OG Outlander has been on, I think it'll be entering its 8th season coming up. And Diana is nothing if not a romance author with a hint of fantasy. And I don't want, like, some of the most hardcore brutality I've ever seen was in season 1 of Outlander. I'll just put that out there. It was enough to make me stop watching. I said, we're going there. We're going over there. So I'm just biding my time until everything falls apart. But no, I really enjoyed it. I will say I did notice a big shift between episodes 1 and 2. Episode 1 felt extremely long to me for whatever reason. And I didn't really get fully set until we were in episode 2. I felt like that was the normal pace that I was ready for and used to. But overall, she's going to do a great job at establishing who these people are very, very quickly. And I enjoyed that. I love a good character development moment. And honestly, when I watched the interaction between Ellen and Red, her father who had passed, I got kind of weepy. I was like, well, damn, he was only somebody who loved her, and he gave her the brooch and the colors. And I mean, if she can't do nothing with it, but let's get into it. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I'm sad for the season, and we will just see what happens.
Between that, the chat and Ashley, you guys are gonna make me go and binge season 1 of Outlander just so I can see this scene, because y'all like, oh, my pearls in my chest.
Oh, listen, I mean, I'm not making it up. Vic said the same thing, that she quit after that. She didn't go past it. It was too much. It was too much. Ashley, that scene made it hard to continue. It did. It was so brutal. Like, my God. That season 1 finale was Listen. And so I'm going to give kind of a brief series synopsis because, again, this is the prequel. So we're basically meeting Claire and Jamie's parents. And if you don't know who Claire and Jamie are, they're our main protagonists in the OG Outlander who develop this time travel love situation, right? But Outlander Blood of My Blood is a romantic saga that unfolds cross time from battlefields of World War I to the rugged highlands of the 18th century Scotland. Two fated couples must defy the forces that seek to tear them apart, intersecting in surprising and unforeseen ways. After 8 seasons of the epic romance on the groundbreaking series Outlander, the timeless tale continues, or rather begins, on the eve of an earlier Jacobite rebellion. Parents, Ellen McKenzie and Brian Fraser, and Claire's parents, Julia Moriston and Henry Beauchamp. I had to correct myself. Both fight against all odds to be together. So, and we see this as we're going in. That's immediately very present. We see almost like a Romeo and Juliet vibe between the Frasers and the McKenzies, which stems into the OG series as well.
Saying almost. Oh no, it's on the nose.
I mean, it's definitely there. But we're going to get into these characters first because we did meet so many of them. And then we, of course, will get into what actually happened in the episodes, what stood out to me, at least. But let's start over here with our Merida, Ellen McKenzie. Ellen is shrewd, sharp-witted, and headstrong daughter of the late Laird of Clan MacKenzie, Red Jacob. She is her father's child with the same fiery red hair and temperament like her future son, Jamie Fraser. Ellen is loyal and has a keen ability for political maneuvering. Her charm and beauty endear her to many a suitor, but she has no intention on settling down until she falls in love with Brian Fraser, son of Clan MacKenzie's sworn enemy, Lord Lovat. Ultimately, Ellen must choose to stay loyal to her clan and family or pursue her love for Brian. Now, we also kind of get tea in this episode that Ellen is everything her father wanted in a son, but she's a girl. So there's no way that she can be a laird. There's no way that she can rule the clan. And as a part of this bond that they had, because they were extremely close, and it's amazing how in one episode they really endeared us to, or helped us really understand the depth and the breadth of the relationship she had with her father. But you don't have to marry for this clan. You don't have to marry for advancement. You don't have to do any of that, Ellen. You're your own woman, and I plan on being around for a very long time. The kiss of death, right? Tyra, what do you think of our Merida, and where do you think she's going?
Oh, girl, she's going to tear it all down. She's going to burn it all down. She's going to cause rifts and mischief and wars all about her. She is, because she's going to go over there with that man.
I would be over there with that man.
She's going to go over there with that man no matter who said what. I just love that we always have a point of, oh, she's the lay of the land. Have you seen her? Like, she is that one, that sister, that untapped beauty. We trying to get next to that. All the other sisters standing around her, yeah, we trying to get to Ellen. It'll be the most basic. Oh, God. Everybody is like all after Ellen's affections. Like, girl, do you see me? Let me do a little dance for you. No, she's like that, but she's a hot commodity around them estates and them parts. I think she is gonna really uck some stuff up, honestly, because there is a chain of command and systems and bargaining and deals that need to be made, and she's gonna continue to stick to, well, my daddy said, well, I was raised to, well, I don't have to do that, and she's gonna go against the grain. She gonna get some people hurt. Maybe herself, maybe her lover, all of those things. Like this has nowhere to go but down. But with that being said, I'm with her in the journey because I'm going over there with that man too, girl. I'm going over there.
Mr. Fraser?
The bastard. Oh. We like bastards. Jon Snow was bastard. We going over there with the bastards.
Every time.
We're going over there. Like and then it's almost like a forbidden fruit thing also, because you're telling me I can't have something, so it's making me want it even more, because she had the pick of the litter. You could literally go with anybody, and a lot of these suitors would fare better with what you need. Like, I don't know, it's like the kingdom will fall. Are you going to put your own romantic interest in the front, especially in this day and age? Cast that aside for love and romance, and but I like him, but what does that mean for you and your family and your dynamic and your wealth? And Like, are you going to allow all of that to fall just so you can be next to that man because she's that rebellious? But you can't blame anybody but her dad because he brought her up to be this way, and it's a bit late now to try to go back. But I do like her character. I do care where she ends up. I just think she's gonna burn a couple of things down on her way there, and it's just sad that everybody's gonna have to suffer because of this beauty.
I mean, powerful women burn stuff down sometimes, Tyra. It just happens to happen. What I will say is that as far as an author, to me, Diana Gabaldon writes amazing female characters. She writes amazing heroines. Like, I adore Claire for even her missteps. Like I said, I've only seen season 1. Even for her missteps, she writes very smart women. And I think we get to see a balance of that over here. We get to see self-determined, strong-willed fighters who just aren't going to go with the status quo. And I really, really enjoy that. It's not very often, even in storytelling present day, that we get really strong, intentional women that have sense. You know what I mean? Most are just led by flights of fancy.
I will say, and I like how you got their names up here. Thank you for that, because
Girl, I knew, girl.
Miss Mamas, who went over there into the stone and disappeared, the modern woman. I can't wait for these two to cross paths, because I think it's going to be something really intriguing, because you have the like mind to think where I'm light years ahead in thinking, because I'm at, it's like, no, we were always forward thinking women. We just didn't have as much opportunity, and where she is longing, well, when she was, out in the world for, I can't wait to have the opportunity to be X, Y, and Z. Yeah. I think it'll make her, have a little revelation and be quite grateful for where she is now, because baby, it is nothing of the sort over here for Ellen.
Nothing of the sort. And I thought about that too, as you were talking about it, just, her father raising her to be this way. While it's so empowering while he was living, it's going to be really her Achilles now that he's gone, because in this culture, in this world, what other man is she going to meet that's going to be able to fully support her in a safe way, and her be able to express and have no boundaries? Like he said, no, you don't have to marry for that. I want you to marry for love, Ellen. You're like me. You're me. You're me. The happiest day of my life was when you were born. I was like, well, damn.
I think that was sad, because he cared so much and poured into her, because you're the son that I never had. But she isn't the son you never had, and she has different circumstances to consider than your sons, as we can see clearly in this episode.
Absolutely. Let's get on over here to Jamie Daddy. Listen, once you meet Jamie, once you go back and watch the OG, you're going to be like, oh, he got it from his daddy. This is the blueprint right here. Because when I saw this man walk out, I said, listen, I'm not about to play with you over here. I agree, Angels of Power. I saw your comment earlier. I feel like the casting was chef's kiss. I feel like all of them really let us know where Claire and Jamie came from. Like, it's evident, and I love that for us. Brian Fraser, though, is the illegitimate bastard son of Lord Lovat. Brian is handsome, handy, and quick-witted. Disillusioned by the idea of courting, he is content to remain single until he meets Ellen McKenzie. As a rival of Clan MacKenzie, pursuing courtship with her won't be easy. However, Brian will fight for Ellen. Meeting with her in secret and dreaming of a future together. Further complicating matters are the political machinations of his father, a sworn enemy of Ellen's family. To be with Ellen, Brian must risk his place in his family, his friendships, and even his life. Talk to me about Brian, Tyra, because that's a fine man. That's a fine man.
I say, see, this is how we do it. I don't know who's over there in Outlander. I can't compare, but we have been watching Game of Thrones. And if you go on back down there, I'm searching for the fine man. Just because we got to be rugged and in a certain era does not mean we need to be any less fine. I say, y'all gave us something. You gave us something. You gave us a couple folks here in this show. Because, you're gonna take the lashes for me, Daddy. I was like, ow! This is amazing.
That's a good one.
We love a good bastard in the show, because they're rebellious, but also they have something to prove. But they are just really, really layered because of the family dynamic and what it meant to be a bastard back then. But he's so resilient and strong-willed already. a lot of the times from what we've seen and even prior to Game of Thrones, if I've ever seen something that was from this era or a little bit removed, if you're a bastard, you're carrying around this weight and it's self-deprecating and woe is me and father, well, can you just, it's just like, no, he's already a man. He already knows himself. That's good. I like that we don't have to wait for him to like, I don't need your approval. I'll never be good enough type energy. No, I know I am good enough. I'm a better man than you are, but I can only do so much because I am illegitimate. I was like, oh, this is cute.
A much better man. Listen.
This is cute. Like, yeah, we need him to not be anywhere near that man. This is great. I like how, because we're going to get to the steam heat, but it was steam heat. When he met Miss Mama's on that bridge and he was like, girl, do you want me to back up off you? Because am I intruding? I was like, yes, not you asking for consent to stand with her on the bridge, sir. We love that. That's romantic. But it's just all this like catering, and I just like that there was never a question from the moment that they saw each other that it was like a kismet, this mutual instantaneous attraction, like love at first sight. And we didn't have to go off into like, I swear, everything we watch, nobody has chemistry. Nobody has chemistry. Nobody's cooking. It's just not doing what it needs to do. Like, no, I was like, oh, he like her. Even when he was peeking at her through the little planks in the barn or wherever they were, he was like, who is that? And he didn't have any ill intent like everybody else, just trying to kind of stake their claim for what it would mean in their passageway for whatever plan they have for this kingdom and this war and the army or whatever. No, I just genuinely like this person. Girl, I didn't even come here for this, but if you're not doing nothing later, girl, meet me by the bridge. Meet me on the south side. And I was here for that. I look forward to seeing, not only where their romance goes, but if he was ready to stand on business all about that woman who just got there, who thought he was gonna leave. Like, no, I did it. I'm gonna take them lashes, baby. Gone in there, beloved. Go lay down. I was like, oh, that's a man.
That is he a real man. He said, you want me to count them for you? Like, oh. I'm counting on you. He said 20. I can count this off. It ain't nothing new to me. I'm not new to this.
And then I was looking, I was like, how often? I didn't see a lash in sight. So, girl, I don't even take lashes. I ain't even been down them streets. I'm going down these streets and taking these lashes for the likes of you. You're a stranger, but you're a woman, and we gonna respect these women. I was like, I love it. I love it. I love it. Give me some depth and give me some things. But now let's get over here to these McKenzie brothers. We have Colum and we have Dougal. Now, both of these brothers I know are in season 1 of Outlander. A lot of these, well, not a lot, but about half of these characters, I believe we actually see in the OG Outlander as well. Of course, they're much, much older. But we have Colum McKenzie, who is the eldest son. However, he's got a debilitating disease, one that will come to be known as Toulouse-Lautrec syndrome. Makes him appear weak to his father and brother while outwardly frail. He has a sharp mind. I'm saying think Tyrion, right? From Game of Thrones. We're going over there. But he has strategy, intellect, and opting for diplomacy over brutality. Colum leads with reason. So now that Red Jacob is dead, it's either these two brothers, right? But only reason it's up for anything, honestly, and not going directly to Colum is because of his disability. Dougal, on the other hand, is a firebrand. They called him cocksure. I got these descriptions strictly off of the Starz press site. He's led by his penis and by his anger. He's full of ego and bravado. And I mean, and we'll get to it. I have a slide specifically for that. But he's contesting who's going to be layered because Colum, you look weak. You're going to look weak to the other clansmen. I can rule from a position of power. I'm foolhardy. I'll go and pick a fight with anybody and not give a damn about the consequences. And like Dad said when he was alive, like separately, no. If they could have been combined as one, yeah, they would have been perfect. But neither of them are capable of being layered, which is like, the ruler of the lands that they have. Honestly, Colum, I had a dry affection for originally, but I hate his stinking guts. I don't like either one of these brothers. I think they're all in it for them more than anybody else. Hopefully age maturity changes some of that. And you guys, if you're OG Outlander watchers, drop it in the chat and let us know, is there a good brother? Because I started to like Colum at first, but by the end of episode 1, I was like, oh, hell no, Colum. You was cracked up
as Dougal is, because you're obsessed with this idea of power. Tyra, what do you think of the McKenzie brothers?
Still rocking with Colin. He was trying to do what needs to be done. I'm doing the Lord's work, okay? I don't got time to be flying off on rage and flights of fancy like you, sissy, and this brother of mine. I feel like he would be the perfect person. Not so much because ideally the both of them, even if it was okay for theatrical purposes, I'll be the front man for our dynamic, but I'll always consort with my brother, meaning Dougal, since it's all about appearance for him and appearing weaker. And, we need somebody who knows, like, yeah, fine. But even though I'm appearing this way to the public, I'm always going to refer, identify, consider, and consort with you on everything. This is just that. We can do it, brother. No, they would work so well in that way. But the fact that I'm like, were y'all waiting? Y'all, that man ain't calling the ground yet. Y'all couldn't wait to start competing for the position. So, but I mean, I'm not mad at that because someone does. Like, would you rather us sit on, our thumbs and have someone else step up and take the reins who, maybe don't have the best interest for our family or not? They're not even, in our lineage. This is a whole other, no, we need to strike while the iron is hot and step into that position. And who better than me? If I had to make a choice here, it's going to be the brother, even if he may look, a little weaker and he does have the disability. This hothead over here, girl, we can't lead with the cocksure. We can't lead with brute force. That's just, it's a time and a place for everything. And how impulsive he was just in this first episode. And it's just like, yeah, whoop ass. So, sir, are we not gonna? It's very, whoop and then ask questions later. It's just like, well, yeah, you should have been where you was, and I wouldn't even have to go and whoop his ass. I was like, oh, sir, like they need each other. I think as far as what do you sound like a good, but there isn't a good brother here. But if I'm gonna put my coins on anybody, it's gonna be Colin, because he's just not equipped in that way. He gives like guard of the castle, like he's just ready, to go to war about everything. But what about when it's time to plan, when it's time to oversee, when it's time to delegate and dispense things and be diplomatic? How are you gonna manage to do that when you lead with your fists in every single situation and conversations? I don't know, but I will say he was over there doing the Lord's work, stroking that lady in that closet.
I mean,
listen. Yes.
I told you there is some immaculate hunching over here. I said, I don't know. They have a coordinator, Tyra.
Yeah, we know. We're sex scenes enthusiasts, in the past couple, year working, we realized that it's really hard to come by genuine. Because like I said, hopefully you guys have been joining us for Game of Thrones. There is plenty of sex in Game of Thrones. But is it steam heat? Is it tastefully done? Is it romantic? Is it raunchy, but in a good way? Am I like, oh, okay, I'm believing it? Not all the time, and abundance isn't always a good thing. Here, every single moment we had, I was like, oh my God, are you guys having intercourse?
It's dirty and aggressive and definitely steam heat. Now I said immaculate hunching, Seagold, and that's exactly what I said. I coined that, immaculate hunching. Now we have Lord Forehead, because sir, there's no way. There's no way your forehead is protruding that much and you're as diabolical and demonic as you want to be. Of course, this is Jamie's grandsire, and Brian's father, right? For all intents and purposes, also known as Lord Lovat, but given name is Simon Fraser. He demands attention and adulation. He is skilled at strategy and deception. Stripped of his title and lands, Lovat holds a grudge against Clan MacKenzie for Red Jacob's role in his downfall. He'll stop at nothing to reclaim power, willing to use his son or anyone else around him as a political pawn. This is a Decepticon if I've ever met one, and he's also a predator. Any woman that's in his sights, honey, he's going to try to take her down. And he feels like it's his right. and his domain. I love it when we get characters that are family but so diametrically opposed, because we've seen so in so many shows and throughout real life, right? If the parents is bad, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. That's the adage that they love to say. So I love it when we subvert expectations and we have someone genuinely good and kind that can even come from this level of corruptness. Lord Forehead is going to be the bane of our existence this entire series. I guarantee it. Tyra, talk to me about Simon Fraser and what you think of him so far.
Girl, I have not seen a character in quite some time so like anxious, like he's ready at the wheel, like he's so in a hurry to be a predator. I was like, sir, would you please pipe down? You know, in a lot of shows, you try to give wolf in sheep's clothing, or it's like something's off about him. I can't really pinpoint what. No, his intentions are made extremely clear right off the back, which is good in a sense because we already know that he's that way. So it's like anytime he's alone with per se a woman, we're going to be on edge. It's like, girl, get out of there. Find the nigga, girl. It's just, it's very intense in that way. And we saw that in this episode. I like how sinister he is. I like how disgusting he is. I think he's going to be fun. I think he's going to be like good to hate because you can't go anywhere but down with this man. The entitlement he has is on par with, you know, the era. But you could see the dynamics of power and the play on just power dynamics where in every day and age, even now, these things are still, you know, very prevalent in the world of people just expecting whatever because I desire it and I deserve it and I want it. You're bought and sold and you're this and yeah. He's just in such a hurry. I was like, oh my God, do you have somewhere to be? And he's like, well, yeah, I have my own, you know, desires to think about. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, he said, F all that. He said, yeah, I'm trying to get this.
When you make this and it's just so renowned at this point that you have like the main, you know, maid or staff service going, you know, don't stay and, you know, keep your head down. Don't make direct eye contact with it. Don't feed the beast. Move post haste when he's with you and don't be with him alone or, you know, it's up. I was like, oh my goodness. If it's that, you know, well known all around the property. And when we had that moment and he was like, you know, like, okay, well, yeah, I'll get you later. I was like, oh my God, sir, would you relax? I can't wait to see the dynamic. I can't wait to see his fall. Because I know it's going to be really, really good. They're going to have to build him up and be very, very disgusting. He's going to do some deeds that repulse us. Like it's, and I'm going to talk about what we get there when we get there. But his fall is going to be very great, and I want to be here for it.
So it's going to be epic. When that lady said, "Just be a piece of furniture," like that's what I need you to do in here. Do not get in his crosshairs, girl, because it's nothing nice. And I'm like, Lord, mistress of the dark, try to teach the baby, but. You serve him. He's your lord. He's your laird. Now let's meet Julia. Julia Moriston Beauchamp. The way it's spelled throws me off, so I have to check my brain every single time.
The way I was gonna go Beauchamp.
Listen, so the people are in the comments like, oh, it's Beauchamp, not Beauchamp. I know it's Beauchamp, but that's why I pause every single time because I want to get it right. But forward-thinking, independent woman of the 20th century, honey. She's a suffragist and she works at the Postal Censorship Office. Julia falls in love with Henry Beauchamp before they even meet. I said this was the first original online dating, right? Because she intercepted a letter. He said this to anybody. She clandestinely responds to an open letter penned by Henry from the front lines of World War I. She provides him with an emotional escape from the horrors of war, and he's immediately captured by her charm and wit. Julia radiates optimism, and she is guided by a belief in fairness and a love of all people. Her maternal instincts and emotional intelligence informs her choices. Julia will make any sacrifices necessary for her family. This heifer is a fighter, but can we get into her face card that doesn't decline? I don't say this often, but to me, the actress that's portraying Julia is a beauty. And I don't say that often, but there's just something so naturally pretty about her. I was like, oh wow. I was like, good job, y'all. Good job in the casting department. But outside of that, this is a woman who knows her own mind, who says, listen, yeah, I'm taking a biochemistry class. I mean, I'm reading this book, and one day I'm going to be able to go to college and get my degree and my bachelor's, and I'm going to do this and this. I love an idealist. I love a dreamer. I love that in the midst of a war and being a woman in the 20th century and during that time, she's still so hopeful about life and the future, and it radiates. I love a character like this. She's got chutzpah. She's got grit. You know, I love a strong woman. I'm over here with Julia. Tyra, what do you think of her character so far? And what do you think of the casting for her?
I did. When I saw her, I think we got a glimpse of her in that first episode, and that conversation. Then I was like, that's the same, because she didn't have her on her get up yet. But I remember seeing her initially. I was like, yeah, girl, you cute. Keep your head down. Don't be nowhere with that man. Don't be anywhere with that man, because you're looking real matronly around here. But you're looking a little too cute and clean around the edges. He's gonna try you. Keep your head down, ma'am. But I like that she's a fighter. Getting back into Lord Farquaad. I feel like Julie gonna be fighting for her life. I really do. I feel like she's gonna be fighting for her life, and I think we have to we're gonna take her all up and through there, all with that man.
I agree.
And then it's gonna be because in ultimate, like, you're not doing this in a fight or flight situation for real, and yeah, we shot Mister. It's gonna be an issue. I hate that we're going to have to kind of tear her down to bring her back up again, because she is a fighter. But I think that there is a culture shock right now. They're kind of, dealing with the chips as they fall. But I'm trying, like, it's only so much she can do. And then she's very, minded of that 20th century and who she is, and realizing, like, I can't be that anymore. Let me kind of fall into place. I can't run from this. And even if I could, where am I running to? Where the hell is my husband? She's literally out here on her own. I think we're going to take her up and through there, which I don't want to see, but I know it's going to happen. And then
he's going to take it. He's going to take it. And I just hope they don't show it all. My God, they love doing that over here.
Well, they showed enough this episode, so I feel like they're gonna go there, and then that's when it's gonna really kick in, and we're gonna see some true grit, because their romance is so pure.
Yeah,
it's very. I told you they're laying it on thick. If you listen to them, say this is Georgia Peach, like thick. Like, oh my goodness, it is very sappy. And not in a bad way, but it was very like, you want these people to through. Do you know how we got together? And they dedicated that whole entire episode to it. Mm-hmm. And I think we're going to get to, once we do cross paths, however long they may be, Julia isn't going to be the same woman. She's still going to be, true and great in 20th century, but I'm not, that same woman to maybe jump right back into who you left. And she's pregnant. Like,
yeah, got a baby at home. Claire's already born. Claire's back home, and she's pregnant.
She's pregnant. I'm just waiting, because I know someone. I think a saving grace will be for her to cross paths with someone like an Ellen, or some open windows to know that there is some type of life and opportunity for women being sound and of their own mind. And I'm one of them. Like, not all hope is lost, but old boy gonna make her lose hope for just a couple minutes, all in up and through the castle. It's not gonna be good.
Could you imagine? Like, and that's the thing. Like, you come into a place where you're absolutely free. The freest that you can be. I mean, women are still subjugated, but nothing like this. And then you're a slave.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but from the again, slave. I was like, all right.
Like,
the lashings.
I mean,
the lashings were there by the time, like, when and we saw the man gearing up to snatch her up, and it was like you were snatched, from your home and sold. I was like, this is very slave trade.
Yeah, and we know that there were. I mean, and it's not giving chattel slavery, of course. It's not the same, transatlantic, but there was still slavery going on for all. I mean, you call me master. What? Is this how you treat last master? Oh, okay. We over here, master. Okay.
But to think that somebody can just snatch you up, like, oh, okay, you're bought and paid for. My deal is debt because I gave you her. Sick behavior.
Yeah, and I was thinking immediately, I was like, oh, indentured servitude. But then when he said master and slave, oh, it don't seem like she gonna get free. See, it seemed like she's. It seems like, yeah, she. Oh God. Anyway, easing on down the road to Henry Beauchamp. Henry has a sharp mind and reserved nature, but he's also a formidable fighter, skilled in hand-to-hand combat. Desperate for comfort, he pens an open letter from the front lines to Julia, or receives his letter in the censorship office and writes back, providing solace through her empathy, optimism, and unwavering support. She a good woman to this man, because she better than me, and we'll get to it. But a soldier and a survivor, Henry is willing to endure any hardship to ensure the safety of those he loves, honey. But this man got PTSD, and he got it real bad, because when he would have woke me up out my sleep, man, get out of my house, sir. I don't know you. I'm not equipped for this. I'm not about this life. Because you wake up shaking me, and it's going to be a problem. Tyra, talk to me about Henry. What do you think about Henry Beauchamp?
I like Henry. Henry gonna find that woman. Henry already has shown the type of, like, not just being resilient, but how resourceful he can be, because I'm coming from the war, and also kind of going against the grain. Because, sir, I know you said X, Y, and Z, but I'm going to get my fellow man. There's that, but how he was able to kind of wait and endure and continue to send those letters. It takes a lot to kind of hold on to that, or even try to make that form of a connection with someone you've never met. And that, I'm like, he's resilient. He gonna go to back trying to find that woman. I don't think it's ever going to be a moment where it's like, well, been here this long, let me go and get comfortable. Like, no, I think she's always going to be in game. I'm just kind of gearing up for whenever, the disappointment of, this isn't the woman that, that card, this isn't the same woman that I had with me in that space. I like the divide between the treatment that she got when she landed versus he got. It was, instant opportunity, where if you can be a source to, business minded. Oh yeah, like, instant job. I was like, excuse me, instant job, and it was, he's a part of it, and not even just any job, but you get wealth, you get riches, and you can be, in close ways with this, and that was just nothing of the sort over there. Master, boss the plane. Excuse me. I want to know if he's going to have any of those triggering moments as far as his PTSD over there. Like, how is that going to source? Because he's still, in a broken way because of what he experienced. How is this going to go over there? And I want to know, when is he going to get cute? Because, baby, I'm still, combat and, skilled. I might have to lay hands on somebody.
Yeah. I mean, and I have course slides for that, which you alluded to when they touch them rocks. But my biggest thing, I think, and what I'm looking forward to in the series is, because like you said, we already know Julia is definitely going to change. However, to me, I feel like Henry is going to have to move really, really unscrupulously, not only to keep his head working for the new grants, right? The place he got, he's the #1 employee. He's going to have to do some really unscrupulous things, not only to find Julia, but to keep his head. So I'm really, really interested. I think they'll both be very different people whenever they reunite. And I'm really curious about how we're going to arrive there and what the journey is going to be like. Because right now he's got all the courage of his convictions and morals, but how long will we have that? And I think by the end of episode 2, we see that slip when we see Ned approach him with an offer. Like, are you gonna, hey, I know you're looking for somebody. Now, I think it's something different. I think Ned is talking about something different.
Yeah.
What Henry's talking about, because it gave, I'm about to give you my Bucci cat. Like, that's what it gave for me. But
he said, come here. He said, homosexual. That's what he said. Homosexual.
I said, are you trying to get this man that cat? What?
I can do something. I was like, sir, that is not what I'm talking about.
Listen, that's what I said. I said, listen, but he already willing to make moves based on that. So I said, is he gonna have to get? Look, we are just pondering. We do not know. This is all very new to us. I ain't read not nary one of these books, but let's get into the episodes and what actually happened. And again, those aren't all the characters, but those were kind of the mains that we met in these first 2 episodes. But Neither one is ready, Tyra. If only you had a ding-a-ling. We see Red Jacob talking to his daughter, and we got to see a couple of these moments. And again, I thought it was really special. And honestly, really great that they were able to capture the essence of their relationship and the fullness of it in such a short amount of time. We struggle with that with a lot of shows narratively nowadays, where we're hard pressed to find the connection and care about something. And it's amazing they were able to do it in 15 minutes here. Like, we were like, oh man, I was like, damn, like you really love her. But we really got to know Jacob as well and know that he's not necessarily a nice man. And I like that too, because it was like he was kind to you and poured into you, but that wasn't necessarily his nature with everyone, especially his other kids. I really liked seeing this, but also you're burdened with glorious purpose as a woman, because you really should be the Laird. You're everything I am and would want for the future, but you can't do that. But we have all the time in the world, because I'm going to live a long time. And the next thing we know, they're cleaning his body for burial. Tyra, what did you think of that? Because even her face was cracked when he said, if only you had a ding, and I'm paraphrasing because he said something else. Yeah, but only if you had a dingling, daughter. What did you think?
I like that he's not all good. A lot of times to rule back then, you couldn't, be a saint. And it's nice that she has kind of these rose-colored glasses for him, but I think her bubble is gonna, catch that burst. And that's why I'm not all mad at the sons in the way that they're going about things. It's probably on par with how dad handled things, and it's just like, yeah, he was whatever to you, but he wasn't a great man. He wasn't a great father. He wasn't that. I just want to see her take some of this, because I know they weren't just in here talking about how great they were. Hopefully he gave her some type of skills that she could use, even though she doesn't have dingling. Yeah. Something that she can, maneuver and use this smartness for something. I'm hoping that she's just not in waiting and the man, and it's not. And I do like the romance. It's just an abundance of it. I said, we get two couples. I love that. But I'm hoping that that's just not her, and she's not relying. And she doesn't give that, but just, in case they try it, she's not completely relying on Brian. What's our next move? Well, when am I going to see you? Well, let me figure out where I need to be and how I can maneuver to make my own choices in life. Because when she said, yeah, it can all burn down, I don't care. I don't want to do that. Let them come on down. They can have it. I said no. Like Daddy said, I also feel like, her bubble's going to be burst also, because Daddy said a whole lot, but Daddy isn't here anymore. And you have to deal with what's happening now. I think she's going to be, a tyrant from her behavior and everything that corresponds after that. But I don't think it's going to taint her character, and I don't think I'm going to dislike her. You know how I feel like, Lord, Lord. I will not like somebody. I didn't get that off of her. I think she's going to be a really intriguing character along with her romance with Brian, but it won't just be, for our window breaks type. And no, I gotta make some stuff shake as a woman too.
Yeah, I think so. And I really do. I hope the same thing, Tyra, because I was thinking that. I'm like, we've heard so much about her prowess and how smart she is. That's the one thing they've really neglected to show, though. We haven't really gotten to see her in action. I think now with this dynamic with the brothers and her extending her to support to Colum, and Colum being like, I don't give a damn about that. Really, anybody could get it in this family. I'll use anybody to become the Laird. I think that's going to change her objective. And I hopefully see her maneuvering behind the scenes, because I think if she doesn't know anything, I think she knows her brothers. I think she knows what her father would have wanted out of them, and maybe a way to get them to move a certain way. I don't think that Colum is the only strategist, even though he's the only one we've seen maneuvering at this point. Now, speaking of Colum and Dougal here, let me be Laird, brother. I'm the oldest. He said, sir, you're going to be bound down to me with your crippled leg. That's what you're going to be doing. Sibling rivalry and daddy issues. We've seen this over and over. It's like, it can't be a period piece, honey, without daddy issues and a sibling rivalry. It's like, this is just par for the course. But I thought this moment was really, really interesting, because it does take a level of humility to come and approach your stronger, more virile brother and say, listen, here's what it is. I'm the oldest. I know I have this situation, but just let me be Laird. He's like, hell no, I'm not letting you be Laird. We're going to sweat this out and figure it out. So now we see Colum working on the other side. Now, what is very interesting is that later in the episode, we have a moment that Colum literally plays in the face of, because he knows his brother. I don't think anything that happened later in this episode was not without Colum knowing. And I will say, I was like, okay, you've got some prowess, you've got some smarts, but will that be enough for him to be the Laird? Tyra, what did you think about this moment? Let me be Laird, the sibling rivalry, the daddy issues of it all.
I will say that Dougal is fine. The beard is connecting. It's very full. It's moisturized. I like that about it.
Very full. But thick and full. Connects on both sides too. Yeah.
Like that. I like the rivalry. I think it's going to be really interesting. Where he considers him to be weak, of course, we're going to have Colum show his weight in gold. Like, okay, that's what you think. I think he's going to allow his brother to fall completely on his face, because it's not like he's going to listen anyway. So let me just let you have your moment. I think we're going to look forward to many moments of Dougal being humbled, and realizing, oh, okay, well, yeah, I'm nothing of the sort in that area. But, if you need these hands, let me know. That's going to be that. But I think we're going to also have moments of Colum being humble, because you are, at a disadvantage at this point, especially in this day and age. I think it's going to be a really interesting dynamic, because regardless of what's happening here and father and the daddy issues, there is compassion and love here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if it's love, hate. It's not quite that. I'm interested to see where their relationship goes, because there is a rivalry. Like, will they let this completely tear them apart? Or will this bring them closer together? I'm interested to see that.
That's a great question you posed, because I had a similar thought, which is why I said sibling rivalry and not like a hate situation, because it doesn't give, I hate my brother, I want to crush you into the ground and for you to die. It's like, no, I just want to be Laird. Like, literally, I just want to be the boss. That's all that matters.
I started limping. I was like, oh, here we go. I was like, oh, he's not a Cersei, so it's okay. He's not a Cersei.
Yeah, like, but yeah, no. So, and I like that, because so many times when we see these type of things, especially in the realm of power, and we don't know what it'll evolve into, like you said, but right now it's like, no, brother, I still love you, but I'm still going to go ahead and take this because I feel as though I'm the better person for the job. And I like that.
I think it's going to go to Dougal, and Dougal's going to realize, I can't do this alone. I do need my brother. I think it's going to just from appearances, naturally people are going to go, well, Dougal. And it's like, what the hell? Why did we vote for Dougal?
I don't know. And I don't remember from OG Outlander. Like, I don't remember. But I mean, it would be poetic if Colum won. Especially if he just outmaneuvers him flat out and gains the, allegiance of other clans or whatever who have to vote. That would be cool. But yeah, I agree with you. More 9 times out of 10, it'll probably be Dougal, because he presents stronger. Even though he's a hothead and he moves, I think that was kind of the custom of the day for a lot of rulers. Like, no, you don't take that. You go and you get it. You pillage, you take, you do all of the things. And he's got that. I
do like that Dougal gives me, I'm gonna get it back in blood, all about my family. I like that. Everything. I think if anything outside of him, if anybody steps to or does anything to them, he gonna go.
Absolutely. Now here we have Jocasta. Now Jocasta is in the OG as well, I read in an article. But immediately, it's like, oh, you hate her. You hate Ellen. You hate your sister. She's the pretty one. Are you trying to court her as well? She's got a line of them in the back. It gives she's jealous. It gives you don't really care, because Ellen, of course, when they're doing the funeral processional and she's walking, she's got the colors on, she's got the brooch, and Ellen's weeping, and she's back there. It seemed like what were like maybe the sister-in-laws or the other sisters, and it's like, you should feel for her. Like, she loved him more than anything, and he loved her. Well, it's my father too. Like, I should feel whatever. And then we just kind of see little sprinkles of her throughout. This is kind of a moment where I'm like, dang, wish I would have watched the OG version, because we would have fully known who she is. But just on initial impressions, what do you think?
I'm actually glad we have it. This is something where I wouldn't mind, like, okay, this is wrapped up. Let me really go see, like, this is what y'all like. Oh, I don't want to ruin, anything by knowing. I like that we don't know anything. Child, daddy left Ellen for dead. You left my son for dead. You left her for dead. You set up these dynamics between your children and your family, and now she's not only the problematic one because you filled her head with all these things and she thinks that she can just go off and do what she wants and she doesn't have to answer anybody. But we also have this seething sister or sisters, because we did have, I don't know if it was the maid who was like, yeah, your sisters are all, married and they have sisters. And, don't you think it's about time? Maybe you should consider that now that he's gone. Clearly, this isn't one of them. This isn't one of them. This is a snitch. This is the drop a dime. This is the one. Because this was cute. The little funeral situation is to be expected. She's saying her things. I'm sure we're going to have her say more, because how dare everybody always, the light shines on her and not so much me. That man that she stepped to who was talking about the light, he got one time to smile in her face, but also try to smile in Ellen's face. Oh, not my man. Not my man. Or anybody. It's going to take one little inkling of Ellen getting something that she feels like it's rightfully hers or she deserves, or she always gets whatever. I'm always left with the crumbs. Anytime she gets any tea, eyes on nothing, hears something, she running to tell the first person she sees, because I want her to be implicated and look as bad as I feel. She's a problem.
Oh yeah, immediately a problem. I was like, oh, look at you. Look at you, you jealous heifer. And I know one when I see one. I hate them, son. Go spy. In a nutshell, Lord Forehead tells his bastard son Brian, go join the axe throwing. Go on over there. The McKenzies are having a thing. Go on over there. They don't know you. You're my bastard. They don't. You're not legitimate. They don't know you. You're nobody. Go over there and play around, and just go spy for me. I hate him. But they're like, he's dead. It doesn't matter. It's the whole bloodline. It's the whole family. I want it back in blood. They're the reason I'm in the position that I am now, a degenerate with limited slaves. Tyra, talk to me about this plan. Go spy. Go see what they're doing over there. Go see what's happening.
This plan still went in his favor, even though we didn't get a whole lot of intel. Brian met Ellen, and that's his plan. That's a part of his plan now. And I think for all of the flack that Brian probably takes off of his dad and, rubs it off or endures or does bidding or whatever, I'm going to do it in my own polite way, but respect, that's my dad. Ellen's going to be a no-no. And I think he's going to cause some strife, cause some moments there. And that's when Brian's going to, you think I'm illegitimate. I mean, I'm illegitimately crazy now because you're playing with me. I think that's going to set off something. That passion that they have for each other is just unmistakable I think he's going to really push boundaries behind her, and where I feel like daddy will take a whole lot out of him. And it's just that's just daddy being daddy. I think the buck is going to stop at Ellen, and we're going to see some stuff pop out, and then we're going to see more of the other brother getting a little closer to being, because both of the sons can be good.
Mm-hmm.
So he's nice or whatever, and he had polite words to say to the jealous sister, but she chose you and not me. Okay. Then I think it's gonna I told you Ellen is the catalyst for the stank behavior in the show.
Okay, go and read your chat, your super chat tower. No.
This ain't movie night. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Dave? Thank you so much for the super chat. No, it is not movie night. It's not time for that yet. And you know that better than anybody, you loyal, faithful member. Stop playing with me, Dave. Thank you.
It's in an hour, Dane. It's in an hour. Just different. Easing on down the road. Grant wants Ellen bad, real bad. So we meet the Grant family. Well, we meet the son of the Grant, the Laird. And they got money. They got different kind of money. This is like money. And he's down bad for Ellen until he sees Ellen absconding. And he says, oh, yeah, she for the streets. I can't. I wanted her but she ain't want me back, right? And this sets off a chain of events that I think Colum engineered because he absolutely knew what his brother was going to do in the moment. But Grant wants Ellen, and I want to know from you, Tyra, is this going to cause issues in the future? Not only because she brutally rebuffs him, and not to his face. She's kind and witty, to his face. But girl, I see you sneaking off to go and meet with somebody else, and then you get me in some frick frack all about you with your brothers. Is it up and stuck now? Is this all it took? Because it don't take much to hurt somebody's pride. And will Ned and Colum's plan go off without a hitch in getting these two arranged?
Oh, the way he showed up with gift in tow. It's like, is that a gift? Is that a wooden carved heart, pendant? What is that? He was like, yes, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to, put on my charm, X, Y, and Z. It was, for me, it was that he didn't see anything. The mere thought of her lying, like, oh, but you said you were going to take a little nap. Where are you going? It was like, oh, please, I've been thrown out of better places than this, Ellen. I am leaving. I was like, well, damn. He didn't have to see anything. I think a lot of these men are going to be harboring over the fact that she chose the bastard. Like, I think we'll have to wait for the following episode to see, because we would like to think that that's all that it took, and that doesn't make for good TV. If he didn't still want Ellen, that doesn't make for good TV. Yeah. He still has to want that bid. And where was she going? And I don't like the fact that you put your hands on me, but I do still, I'm still intrigued. And then it's gonna, be that push and pull of, but I love Brian, but I want to be with Brian. But yeah, we set this up already. You kind of have this arranged marriage at this point. You're gonna do it, and the push and pull, and the basically putting the target on Brian's back. But still, I think it's gonna be really interesting. I feel like his demeanor is a little in between, which I do like. I don't know if he's all good or all bad. I'm not sure. I think we're all good if we are hearing what we want to hear, and you're doing exactly what I want you to do. Because who wouldn't want me? Not only am I being kind to you, but how about gifts, donations? Oh, you lied to me? You snuck off? Or you must be going to, so you're not interested in me, and you're interested in this person, but I have more of this, but I'm wealthy, but I'm that. And I'm like, who wouldn't want me? I think that's going to be the thing. And then maybe we'll see some of his more lackluster qualities start to show, because he gives a little Lord Farquaad energy, just a little.
Yeah, well, he's a little Malcolm in the middle. Malcolm Grant is a little Malcolm in the middle, and this isn't the last that we've seen of him. And sadly, if they are betrothed and end up being forced into a marriage, I think he'd punish her. Yeah. I think it would be, a marriage where I really liked you, I was really into you, and you rejected me, dejected me, and now I got to get it back in blood. But we'll see. But basically, Ellen disappears because she want to go be with her man, as she is in this next slide. And so she goes away, and the last person that anyone had seen her with was Grant. So, then the little mistress came in there. The girl, shut the hell up. And I know she's from the OG as well, the attendant there, the maidservant, whatever. And I'm like, girl, why would you go in here and say that? So anyway, she can't have no fun. Baby can't have no life, because immediately Dougal's like, Grant, all right, say less. Let me get the highwaymen and let's get in this forest and rough them up. Colum says, don't do that. But he ain't protest too much, because he already knew what this was going to do. If I can get my brother to react, then that's going to put me in position to bargain with the Grants. I already know he wants my sister. This is going to be my perfect segue to get what I need to become the Laird, because that is Colum's only goal. Again, fighting for the sis. That's all he want to do is fight, Tyra. I was fighting for your honor.
For my sis. Not even for my sis. I just want to fight in general.
What did he tell her? I was fighting for your honor. I was fighting for your purity.
I don't think he's ever met a fight that he didn't like. Even when we, initially see him, how much fun he's having in those woods, hunting. Like, it's like, yeah, like you could have swore he was playing soccer. He was having the time of his life in there. And it's no different there. Like, any excuse to go and pop off is, non-excuse at all. Of course, the other brother used this to his favor. Like, no, you don't want to go do that. Don't just hold on a second. But it's like, yeah, if it works in my favor and I get to let you go out here and make a fool of yourself, because I want to be the one who's chose anyway. So yeah, who this fool? All he does is, lead with his hands and his brute force. We don't want that as a leader. What's going on over here? I do. We're gonna. I think that certain things like this that Ellen detests with the brothers, later on it'll be something that she longs for when she's in certain situations, because she's very protected right now, and very, even how she's allowed at this point to voice and have her own opinion. A lot of them can't do that, and they aren't doing that, and weren't raised at all to do that. And at a certain point, we gonna need these brothers.
Absolutely. And so we know that, of course, Grant's not there. And this is the first time we see Henry appear. And again, I had to go back to the first episode. Did we just see him?
Yeah, that's what I said. I thought I was tripping.
Okay, but we do find that he is working for the Grant family, and that comes later in episode 2. But he's the one who kind of confronts Dougal and is like, "What the hell are you doing?
Like, here? Like, is she in my pocket?
Nobody here."
Like, do you see anything? Is she under your kilt?
Listen, and Malcolm in the middle, like, we're not going to forget this. The Grants aren't going to forget. The North remembers. And so now we go back to the house, and now it's like, okay, now we have to do damage control. Ellen saunters her way in, of course, after being with her man. I was with my man, but I'm not telling you anything. I don't owe you anything. And Colum says, well, when one of us are laird, you're going to owe us something. Your gowns, your pretty shoes, all your little hobbies that you got, you're going to be beholden to us. And so he's already been plotting, and he knows what he wants to do. But let's see what Ellen was doing while she was away, honey, because I was with my new man. And listen, girl, you see, you feel it. This is when we talk about chemistry tests. Mm-hmm. Making sure that when you're casting, you're putting people in the same room to see if they vibe, to see this. Y'all, I don't say it often. This was steam heat. They give steam heat, damn it. And they ain't even barely touched at this point, because Brian's a gentleman. He's like, baby, what? I'm not even going to talk to you unless you let me. Is it okay that I speak? Girl, I saw, but she saw him throw that axe. And I think that's what did it. And she said, oh, yeah. So even though he was there on a spy mission, he came out with the real prize, which was Ellen's eyes and attention. They both want each other so bad. There is nothing left to the imagination. Everybody knows what this is and is going to be. And I love it. Tyra, talk to me.
That's why I was like, look here, Ellen. They told us you were smart. I was like, okay, girl, what lie you got ready on the fly to tell the brothers? This is where I've been. I don't have to tell you when. That's the wrong thing to say. That's the last thing you're supposed to say. I mean, girl power. But at a certain point, I need you to still be lying. I need you to lie, girl. I need everybody to think that this was the last place you were, because it's gossipy here. You couldn't walk, 2 feet away without someone singing you already. Luckily, he didn't follow you. I thought first, I was like, oh Lord, he's gonna follow her and see where she's going. I like, girl, she's going to be humbled, unfortunately. Not to say that she's not going to have that same gravitas and be, rebellious and really stand in everything that she learned from her dad. Even though you're not here, I can still do X, Y, and Z. That's going to be present, but she has to be humbled first, which is so sad. But I blame Daddy. He left her here for dead, alone without a paddle. Steam heat, though. Steam heat. It was hot. It was cool.
Steam heat, girl. Can you imagine when they finally get together?
Girl, I'm gonna be hot. I'm gonna be like this. I'm gonna be watching like that Marge. It's gonna be very steamy. Like, it was instant, and we knew as soon as I was like, "Oh, that's our man." That's her man, and this is what it's supposed to be. There should never be moments where we're like, we don't feel it, we don't see it. Like, what? And I'm sure they had to have like a screen test, like a chemistry test. Like, it's like, oh, these are our people. They are selling it, honey. And this is the first episode. They haven't even went through anything yet. No. Nobody's rebuffed anything. Told them they couldn't be together because, baby, we're gonna go against that grain when it's done and it's set. It's gonna happen. Daddy, Lord Farquaad, Lord Forehead. He hasn't did anything or tried to use this to. He's like, okay, well, yeah, lure in, son. Yeah, you. Yeah, Daddy, I'm not doing that. I love her. We ain't even got there yet, and it's this much steam heat. Girl, I'm scared.
I am too, bro. And when he took off his shirt to take his lashes, I said, we in for it. We in for a treat, ladies and gentlemen. Just hold on here, knickers. He is, girl. He nice and tall and.
He was slender up under them clothes.
Listen, and he's a real man. Marcus, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Will y'all check out and review Shadow Force with Kerry Washington on Starz? Did that come out?
It did. It's been out for a while.
Oh God. Oh. Tyra.
I watched the trailer and I wanted to do nothing of the sort, Marcus. I wasn't interested, baby. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I just King Nikki. I'll watch it. I might watch it in the background. I don't know if I'll talk about it. You guys, we really don't try to talk about things we know we're just gonna rip apart. But I don't know. I watched that Viola Davis one, and I don't know if I can do Carrie.
The G20.
Yes, G20. Yeah, girl. Hey, Nikki. I thought y'all were talking about the 90s series Highlander. I read the title. Nikki, please. King Nikki. No, but that's my mama's show, though. She loved the Highlander. Good. Easing on down the road. We're entering now into episode 2, and we know Column's mission. I'm going to set you up. I'm going to set her up with the grants. That's going to appease them. That's going to quiet them down. That's also going to put them in my pocket. Because everyone admires Ellen. Everybody wants a piece of Ellen, and that's the highest bidder. So now, as we go into episode 2, S.W.A.K, Seal with a Kiss, aggressive hunching outside, and then a crash out of nowhere. Because when we go to the picnic, Tyra, I said, are these booty cheeks? Hold on. I said, let me glasses. Let me sit up and look forward, face forward. Because they was like, what's that moaning? I said, they're hunching aggressively in the field. They were doing it sideways, hunching, like they were going to work. And you know how buttoned up you were in World War I, how many layers of clothing that you had to have on, all of the buttons and ties that had to be tied. And y'all are out here butt booty naked in the grass, hunching away aggressively, and then driving down the street with no other cars. All of a sudden, we're careening. Tyra, I was so outdone. I said, "What's happening?" I was like, "Are we in a time warp again? Rocky Horror Picture Show?" Tyra, talk to me.
Girl. Now, normally the quota, because I think at this point. Was this maybe the third intimate scene? And I think so. Was it the third or the second?
Maybe the second, because we got more later in the episode.
Okay,
too.
I think it all. Yeah, I think it's running together.
Yeah.
But either way, for me and the type of show I thought this was, I was like, oh, that one little, stroke session in the closet. That's probably I don't have to worry about making sure my volume's low or the kids aren't around. I was like, oh my God. I had my door wide open. I was putting together my kid's dresser. I said, oh Lord. I said, is that ass?
It was. Booty.
I was like, oh my goodness. I thought we already had one in the episode. We know, you checked off the box for, sexual content and nudity. You did it again? Oh, y'all cooking more than I thought you would be. Lust, okay? Listen, but we ain't got time for the little bread and breakfast having to be trying to peek in and listen to the walls and see what we're doing, okay? We need privacy. We're going to be out here in the middle of the field humping. I said, oh my goodness. The intimacy is not just, because it'll be like, oh, the intimacy between Brian and Ellen and their chemistry is just cooking. I don't know what's going on with Julia. And I was like, oh, they're cooking too. They are cooking in a very, very heavy way. This was, now this was expected. Baby, you got to wake up pretty early. I was like, child, when are you going to crash? It took me out when she kind of, disappeared. I was like, did she just, because, I don't know anything. I haven't watched. I was like, did she time travel? Say, oh, girl. But at this moment, initially, I thought she time traveled and he was still in modern day. And then once we got here, I was like, I had already seen you and I didn't even know you two. I had seen the both of you already earlier in this episode, and then we get the dynamics in the second episode. But this was very, very interesting. I can't believe you put aggressively, it was very, they was trying to, obviously, I'm here for all of the aggressive hunching. We have seen non-aggressive hunching, atomically incorrect hunching more than we desire to. So this was cooking. I thought it was really great how they handled the scene, and it was very quick, kind of this, just to end off the episode, something that you didn't expect. I was like, is this modern? I was like, where do we jump to? Who are these people? And then it's we're still talking about the vacation. Like, the writing is very good. The writing is very good. The pacing is immaculate. And it's just the first episode, and they were sure to tell us some about their dynamic, the pregnancy, the child back at home, the everything in that one moment. And it's just like, oh, car flip, she's gone. I was like, oh hell.
And I was just going to go there because we do get the backstory in the midst of this happening. A soldier and a poet, and we kind of have already covered what happened. But I mean, he's worn World War I. We see this really moment that I think speaks really to Henry's humanity when we have this young soldier who is fatally wounded, and him trying to be hopeful and trying to be the optimist, and really what leads him into writing this open-ended letter. Because is there a God? Like, I just watched this little boy, and all he could think about was getting this letter home to his mom, and he was blown apart by this war. I don't even know why we're fighting, right? Which we've got, if you watch war movies, you get that sentiment from a ton of soldiers. But I think it was beautifully depicted here. And although to me, Henry Beauchamp isn't like a great hunk of man like Brian is over there, I like the subtlety of their love, and I like how he just really, really is enamored of Julia. I think we were getting to see, of course they're paralleled, right? Because they're relationships that we're going to be seeing coincide with one another. But I like how this is kind of a quiet, deeper love. Brian and Ellen is more of like oh my God, I just want you. I need you. Got to have you. And while we see that over here, I think this is more matured. This is more tenured. They've had time together. And I think it's also special because they fell in love with each other before they even saw each other, which is kind of deep in and of itself. So we got his backstory, and then we get Ellen's as well. She's not only a suffragist, but she's a postal censor, meaning they read all the mail to make sure nothing crazy is going on. And that's when she finds the letter. What did you think about them giving this to us in 5 minutes? And we know their whole love story. Like, we got it all wrapped up. Heartfelt.
This is so good. This is so good. The way that another show would have tried to stretch this out over like 5 episodes, and we're like, come on. They would have probably consistently continued to go back and forth and still trying to do too much. We need this one moment, this one episode, and the precision, the writing, the pacing is so good that you guys are going to get it immediately. I got it immediately. I was like, oh, they need to be together. They need to be together. They need to be together. I like that they met in this way, so the distance isn't an issue. That's always going to be there. It's going to be the change that happens to them in those predicaments that's going to affect their relationship later on, or whatever it is, if they're, if there's even a thing. And the fact that we have this aspect of, I don't like, how does time work? How long are they going to be here? You have family, you have a daughter. How old is she going to be when you get, like, it's just so many factors to consider that enhances their story in such a great way. And then I was like, they have money. This looks really good. I want to show him some coin. I was like, this looks very, 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 very good. I really got into this. I was like, it felt like a mini movie. It felt like a mini movie, and we were going to go from point A to Z immediately. I like, them corresponding via letter and them really falling for each other before it ever got to that. It's just a signal for there's nothing that they're not going to do for each other or to eventually get back to each other. It's always going to be in game. In the fact that they continued on that notion of writing letters, even though they're in those different predicaments, I was like, oh, this is beautiful. Yeah, it was really nice. And where you say, he's not, that hunk of a child, he ain't got to be that. I was like, you know what?
You're still fat. She said,
these are good men, Savannah. These are good men. He's just in a bad situation. He's trying to get out of it. And you let him slip away. Girl, don't let him slip away. We're in a bad situation and he's trying to get out of it. But this is a good man, Savannah. I'm rooting for them already. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, how long? What's all going to happen by the time you get back to Julia? That's my main concern. What about, when she starts showing? Is it going to be long? Like, how many paces and fields over are you before y'all close and y'all somewhere in the same, vicinity to cross paths eventually? Like, but how is that going to happen if she's, thrown in the serving quarters 24/7 and the master of it all? Is there a point when she leaves? Is he gonna have to see her and not say anything to her? Girl, I was all right. I was writing the whole book by the time we got to this, and then just to know that nothing that he had been through kind of scared her off. She was here with this man. Maybe we got
That scene, the PTSD and waking up in the bed and her being
it was very quick.
This is so and so. I got you back.
This is writing, and this is all. This is the type of stuff that let me know we're not crazy. We're going to be acting like we're acting and doing the most. And well, actually, guys, if you don't understand it, if you didn't read the book, just say that. No, shut up, because we know good writing.
Yeah.
We know good writing, and we know when a show is precise in cooking and moving with so much intention. The way that they are story building, it really makes me look forward to where these people are going to go and end up. And that's the goal of a show. You want to make it to the end. And the fact that this is a prequel, like a spin-off situation, child, what is the OG Outlander?
Oh, girl, I like blah. It's cooking. I know it is. Like I said, I just, my delicate sensibility.
And it wasn't just him. You got into each and every one of their, mindsets, their skills outside of each other, what they're going to be able to offer and utilize in this time period, and who Julia is, and how, she's that, but working for the postal service and being smart. You get, all of these, and her strong sense of memory and things that she could just look at. And I was like, you know what? Don't play with me.
Yeah, he's a negotiator. He gets in hard situations. He's able to talk his way out. The people love him. He's always had the people of support, and he's a leader. So I mean, you're right. And we did that in 15 minutes. Like that's what we say. It doesn't take all day to tell a story and to tell a succinct, good story that makes you feel. And then we still expound because, like you said, they got a cute coin. The wardrobe, the backgrounds, the shots, immaculate. Like, when we're pulling images, a lot of times we'll go to a press site, and the press site might have 3 images. When I tell you there's 50 images out here for these first 2 episodes, like they weren't playing, and they're all beautiful cuts. Like they're beautiful stills. It makes a difference.
Standing next to boy, I don't know what else you're talking about. She cooking.
But now, after the crash, we're fine. Everything's fine. We're getting up. We're walking around, and he says, "Don't go beyond them darn hills. I got to do this. I'll be right back. Mookie, girl." And then you go over here, you touch stuff. Here's my PSA. Why do y'all have to touch stuff everywhere you go? When you go to damn Stonehenge, don't start touching the ancient relics. Don't touch the Scottish rites. Don't touch the Druid, bloody rocks. Like, let's just don't do that. It always results in disaster. And we see the stone you touched, Heffa. We saw it. And he saw it too. And he went and touched the same thing. He said, let me go. It must have worked for her. Let me go ahead and touch it too. Stop touching. Y'all stop. Yeah. Who's going to raise Claire now? Y'all got a baby at home. Who's going to raise the baby now that both of y'all have been transported? But Tyra, why do they go, and the they I'm speaking of, why do they always go places and touch stuff?
I know, she's a woman of the 20th century and whatnot. Girl, we barely held on to our lives. We just made it out off this riverbank. We just washed ashore, technically. The vehicle, like, girl, stay by my side.
And that was a cool scene, too, in the water, because I was like, really? We're going whitewater rafting?
The way I would have clinched onto that man, like all of this will to want to be an independent, strong white woman. I'm going over there. I'll be right back. It's nothing. Girl, where are you going? Baby, I'm staying right here. I don't need to go. Where do you go? We don't even know where we are. Where are you going to explore? What are you doing? And you're not going to explore nothing without me. Daddy, save me. I'm here. Carry me over. Like, no. As soon as she walked away, I was like, oh, girl. I yelled. I said, white lady.
Tyra said, I'm a damsel. Save me. I'm not doing this.
It's okay to be a damsel. Like, I bet it looked real good. I bet being a damsel look real damn good now that you're in master's quarters waiting to wash his linens. Girl, she didn't have to be over there. I went, and I know that's a part of the story. We need her to go over there for these things to transpire. But girl, Don't go over there without your man. Don't go over there at all. It's going the opposite direction. You didn't even know where you were. And now we lost.
Because just like that, you're a slave. Instantly, you're a slave. You get hit
just like that, you're a slave.
Just like that, you're home. I mean, from the head wrap to everything. I said, well, damn it. Masters, lashes. Yeah. When she was talking to the people and they said, Sasna, I said, oh, God, that means English woman. I know that from the OG. But then when I saw the men scooting from behind me, I thought, oh, damn it, it's over for you. I didn't know what they were going to do with her.
Out the first person, hey, yeah, have you seen my husband? I was like, girl, if you don't see what's going on here, girls, you don't run. But she said, like, oh, come on, just jump on up here, girl. Just get up here. I wouldn't want them to have to knock you out and grab your ass. If you get up here at your own free will, at least you won't wake up with a knot. I was like, girl, run.
Girl, please. Damn it. Damn, Gina. I said, what are you doing? And so we find out that these people owed a debt to the Frasers, to Lord Forehead. And so they basically drop her off after bopping her in the head and putting the potato sack over it, send her over there, and she wakes up in custody. And she says, I am a woman of the 90s, and I do not belong here. I am not your servant. I am not your maid. I am from London. Yeah, and he's like, yeah, my pretty English rose. I'm going to slam dunk you tonight. And she's like, what's happening here? Like, and I can imagine just being completely out of your depth. And that's the first time we see Brian see Julia over here. And I'm thinking to myself, Lord, is he going to intervene? Is he going to interject? But I think he knows his station as a bastard. And he also knows his father. And nothing he can do can be done out in the open. But my question to you, Tyra, is there ever any, or let me ask it this way. Do you think he was ever going to do anything to help her? Do you think that was even on his mind?
Definitely. I think he's going to be the one to eventually lead her back to her husband. Between him and Ellen, I think that's going to be some refuge of, I think some dots or some connections or something that they're going to be made because she is writing these letters. Maybe, he'll see them. Maybe something will click. I think he's going to be her refuge in this space. He's going to be as much as he can be because unfortunately, no woman of the sort is going to be any type of place of shelter for her in her current situation. Because girl, we're here to do a job and get her done. Keep your head down, and that's that. But I think if he was willing to go as far as to take those lashes, he's definitely willing to do more.
I agree. And I hope that for her. I think that I agree with you, what you said earlier, that ultimately she will be broken to a point. And I think we'll have to rebuild. He's going to take it. And like, was it Unartha said it or Angels of Power said it? One thing they're going to do with this show is they're going to essay somebody. Every single time. And he just seems like he is so nefarious. He just seems like he's probably got wild proclivities and strange things that he does. I hate everything about it. And I was really hoping that she was going to find solace in the head staff, like the head maidservant. But it seems like she's just keeping her head down trying to live. Like, girl, I tried to warn you. You want to stay safe over here, be the furniture, blend in. But my sister, that face card don't decline. She gonna have to put some dirt on it, some soot. Girl, get stinky. You're gonna have to do one of the moves because I don't know. So while she's over here, she's been demoted. Mm-hmm. But he gets a promotion immediately. He walks into a bar and gets a job. Well, no, I don't agree with that. He gets promoted and gets somebody beheaded all in the matter of an hour or two. I think I can be a better advisor for you. And again, this speaks to a level of privilege that men, and especially certain men, have when they enter spaces of people that look like them. They automatically get placed into position, and that's exactly what happened. And of course, we need Henry there. I just honestly do not believe that Henry we met today in these first two episodes is going to be the Henry we end the season with. I think that he's going to have to enter the darkness to accomplish his purpose. And I hate that, but Elder Grant over here is nothing to be trifled with. Like I said, this is where the real coin resides. This is where the money resides. It's over here with these grants. And I'm very curious to see what he's going to have to do, like I said, to keep his head and to find Julia. What do you think about he's been promoted. You've been promoted, our select employee. What do you think?
I don't know where this is headed. I'm hoping that where we met them, they did that to have to give us hope and not to have us completely break down if she happens to like, what the hell? Are you not seeking me out? Like, you look real comfortable. Like, who are you? like I'm hoping that we don't go down the primrose path of, yeah, girl, I forgot about you for just that fast, you know. That much love and that longing and the way that they were kind of swept with each other. I'm hoping that that's enough to you know, push them through. This is just such an interesting dynamic with the space that he's put himself in, because he opted. It wasn't even a second thought of, well, no, let me try to forge ahead alone. And if it's not, you know, if I see that I can't make any leadway seeking out my wife on my own, let me come back here and take this position. No, he acquiesced really fast.
Really quick.
Really, really quickly. Even with what he heard, I was like, they're not hugging that man back there. He's been instantly, you know, on the flip of where, yeah, he's X, Y, and Z. Oh, okay, well, yeah. And he's my most trusted, most loyal, I consort, and instantly, just based off a stranger at this point. Based off of what you said, he was instantly disposable. So what would that mean for you? Now you have attached yourself to something where, even if it was, oh, I know exactly where my wife is, and blank, blank, blank. And what are you gonna say? Well, thank you for your services. I can go now. No, you stay property, bro. Like, you're not gonna be able to just walk away from this situation. I don't think he considered, and unfortunately, it didn't get real until he seen that man's head on a stick. Oh,
this is serious.
What did you think they were doing back there? I'm hoping that it doesn't change him to the point that his slip shows and he's completely, we see her writing and going, and on the opposite end, we see him changing and like, oh, who's that over there? She's looking kind of good. Like, please, sir, don't piss me off, sir.
We shall absolutely see. I don't know. Like you said, when he saw the head, it did absolutely get real. And another kudos I will absolutely give to the show. I think when you do time jumps, and although this is kind of a time travel story at its essence, we're also flashing back from where we were in episode 1, right? Because in episode 1, he was already well acquainted with the Grants, working with them. Now, this is kind of like the origin story, how they arrived. So I'm assuming we're going to catch up in real time in episode 3. That's what I'm hoping for, to see, you know, where we go from here. But finally, Tyra, and this was kind of the last thing I wanted to talk about, which couple do you resonate with the most after watching these first 2 episodes? And we'll probably do this every week just to see if our allegiances change. But I want to know which couple really does it for you, and do you connect with the most, and why?
Because I'm hot in the seat of the pants. I'm going over there with Ellen and Ryan. I'm trying to see what that'd be like. You know, all of that, and there's just as much romance over there. The fact that we seen, you know, them in an intimate way, I shall say, twice already. But Ellen and Brian were cooking just as much, if not more. And we've seen them. They ain't even shared a kiss yet. I'm more intrigued by where that's going to go. And, you know, of course, Brian. But, you know, I like, you know, Julia's dynamic. But, yeah, the stroke was stroking. Julia, you did a good job, girl. But
riding like the rodeo show in the bed, too?
I was like, yeah, so you didn't get enough of me? And them their heels in an open field? Yeah. See what it'd be like. They may gonna come find me. But yeah, I'm just really intrigued with Ellen and Brian, because it was just instantaneous. Like, it resonated, like chemistry, like it was exuding like off of the screen with them. It's the same, you know, with Julia and Henry, but it's not the same, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's different. And I love how we're kind of getting to see people in different stages of love. I honestly feel like that Brian and Ellen love gonna hit different, just because I know who Jamie is, honey. And I don't know Jamie to his fullness, but I know enough. Because when I was watching it, like I said, he took them lashes for old Julia. I said, oh, oh, Jamie, his father's son. That's his daddy's son. Like, I know what I know when I know when I know. This is going to be an epic, beautiful love. Brian is that type of man who is going to be willing to lay it all down. I'm going to risk life, limb, all about the people that I love and care about. And it's going to be about honor. But what I like about Brian is that he's not very reactive so far. He does seem like he's a thinker, and he kind of sits down and he's not very rash. Because a lot of times, Ned Stark, we run into people who have deep honor, who don't have a lot, like, use your common sense. You know what I'm saying? I really think we'll get that from Brian. And I also like the mystery of Brian and Ellen. Like you said, Julia and Henry been hunching aggressively. We've seen it multiple times.
Oh my God.
The fact that Ellen and Brian have left something to the imagination does intrigue me more at this point. And I can't wait to see how their love blossoms, honey, because I know they about to go through it. Because when his daddy finds out, Tyra, it's over for them. But you guys, that was Outlander, Blood of My Blood, episodes 1 and 2, our live discussion of it. Tyra, any more thoughts on the show? Or do you want to let people know what we got going on this week?
Well, with the show, I just can't wait to, see where this goes. They're doing a lot per episode. So we're ready. It's a movie every single time. So I can't wait for the next one. As far as what we have going on, it is Saturday. If you are not a member, what are you doing? Become a member of the Struggle or the Sweet Pea so you can be a part of our Saturday night movie blockbuster watch-alongs, please.
Come on. And tomorrow, guys, we are talking Wednesday. It'll be a little bit of an earlier live. It'll be like a matinee live. 5:15 Eastern Standard Time. We will be covering season 2A. So the first 4 episodes of season 2. And then Monday night, the finale of what are we gonna do without the Gilded Age, y'all? What else gonna do?
We're not gonna do nothing. You know why? We're not gonna do anything because you guys are gonna roll up and be invested all about, Outlander, Blood by Blood. That's what's gonna happen. Because the shows that are cooking and have really great acting, chemistry, pacing, and writing, y'all need to pull up to the function.
Yeah, that would be nice. But you guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all 19 of you who have been here with us all night. It's been incredible. We love you much. No, for real. Thank y'all for coming through, and thank you for supporting. We'll be back. I like the show. I think we're going to keep talking about it because it's actually good. And that's we're hard pressed for actually good shows, and we like when we get them. But you guys have the most amazing night, and if you're a member, we'll see you in a few minutes for Tyra's selection tonight. We will be watching Grease Lightning, and I'm so excited. Have the most amazing night. We'll see y'all in the next video.
I've heard new love is so beautiful. Time is what makes it ugly. But time after time and through every turn in this life,